Okay.
Hi everyone, it's Joette from the Bowdabra Design Team, and you're watching me live on Bowdabra tonight, and I'm filling in for Sandy Sandler. And we're going to start out by making this little door hanger. Well, we're going to put a bow on it and dress it up. So we're going to start out with the length of Bowdabra bow wire, fold it in half, place it down in our mini Bowdabra, and as you're coming in, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from, and you'll be entered in a chance to win a roll of Bowdabra scrunchie ribbon. I've got a little piece of raffia. It's probably about 6 inches. Remember the raffia skirt if you watched last week? That's where I get my raffia most of the time. I'm going to place it down in the mini, right in the center. And I'm taking about 18 inches of a scrap piece of ribbon that I pre-dovetailed. And I'm going to fold it in half, find the center, scrunch it in, and place it down in the mini. I'm going to fold one loop or one tail across, and it makes a loop. Repeat the same opposite side, and I'm going to have a little bow forming, but I'm not finished yet. I love this twinkle glitter ribbon that Bowdabra has, and I'm always using it for little centers on my bows. So what I do is I fold in do 2 or 3 folds to make sure that nothing's fraying and no wires are sticking out, because sometimes the wire comes out of the end. And you just place it down in the mini scrunchy bow style. Once you get to the end, I like to flip it over on its side. Then I don't have to fluff it as much. I'm going to remove
So we have
the loop.
Lisa Claypool and Pamela. Everybody, thank you so much for watching us tonight.
Hi, Sandy. Okay, we've got. I've pulled the looped end through the loose ends of the looped end, and I'm going to go ahead and separate the ends and tie this little bow in the back. Tie a knot real tight. And this one doesn't take a lot of fluffing, but once you tie it, make sure you touch it up just a little bit. And we're going to tie it onto our little door hanger. Now we can stick it on the little rope where it's going to hang from, or the top of the window. I think I'm going to catch it through both. Tie it in a knot. But I'm tying a bow, so I can remove it and change it out if I want to. And this is our first Christmas in July bow. This could also be an ornament if you put a tree up and use large ornaments. And you can make the same little bow on ornaments as well to dress them up and make them
That's so
more
cute, Joette.
festive. Thank you. All right, next we're going to be making, let's see, we've got 2 big projects, so I'm going to save those for last. Y'all need to stay here and watch, or if you're coming in late, I don't want you to miss them. So we're going to do a gift wrap box. If you do Christmas in July gift giving. And I've already tied a piece of ribbon around our box. And I think I'm going to use the large Bowdabra on this one. I thought I just heard something fall. I don't know what that was. Alright, I'm going to cut a length of Bowdabra bow wire. You know what? I should use gold. I'm using gold ribbon. If you had never used this Bowdabra bow wire, you are missing out. This stuff is
Hayden
unbelievable.
Garrett says hi to Alexia.
Hey! Lexi said hi. She's waving the back of the camera. I've put a length of whatever bow wire in. I'm matching. And I'm going to go ahead and make our bow for our gift wrap. Hey, you guys that just said hi to Alexia and anybody else watching, I want to show you something. If you'd like to see Lexi make one of these paw print bracelets with Bowdabra bow wire on her next tutorial, type yes in the comments, because this is what I hope she'll make, and if y'all want to see it, she'll make it. Alright, so now we're going to make our gift wrap bow, and this is all scraps, mostly. Some of this is and some of that's not. But I've got a few pieces, probably 6 inches of pre-dovetailed ribbon, and I'm just going to place them down.
Everybody's
This,
saying yes, they would love to see her make that
I
in her
told
next video.
I told you, Lexi. Alright, I'm doing 4 tails going to place them in. They can be the same length. They don't have to be. This is scrap. It will look good no matter what you do. This is how you get to use your scraps. Okay, I do have 2 more pieces. This is probably 10 to 12 inches. I'm going to do 2 little funky bow style loops. There's one. Pull those in. And if you're trying to be sustainable and use up your scraps, if you don't have a Bowdabra and not using your scraps, you need to run and get one, because you'll be begging for scraps after you try to make a
Well,
bead.
when Joette comes to my house, she always steals all my scraps and brings them home with her.
Okay, so this is where I'm at so far, and I could put a loop. I could do that little twinkle ribbon knot in the center, that scrunchy knot that I like to do. This is what I have, but this time we're gonna fancy this gift up a little bit more, and I've got a little piece of a flower. I do not know what it came off of. Again, I'm using scraps. Okay, pull out your Bowdabra bow wire looped in, pull your loose ends through, pull it tight. When you feel it secure, go ahead and remove it. Remove that so you can see. Separate your ends. Keep pulling, so that'll get it even tighter. Get all the slack out of your line. Tie it in a knot, and we'll fluff our bow just a little bit. Again, this is one that doesn't need a lot of fluffing. Separate your tails, starting from the bottom on this one. And you have more tails than loops. You only have 2 loops, so you want to make sure your loops show. And then center your flower. And this is what we have. And then all you have left to do, this box was already wrapped for me, so this is some of the fastest gift wrapping you'll ever do. Take your wires, pull them around, one on each side of your knot that you have tied on the package. Pull it tight, and then people like to keep bows in my family, so I'm going to find the center of where this originated and tie it back in there. Pull it again so it's not flopping, and you can either tie it in a tight knot or tie it in a little shoe bow so they can reuse it. You may get it on a gift next year or at December Christmas, who knows. But just go ahead and pull everything around once you get it on here. I don't fluff it totally till I get it on the package, because I will bump it. And you have a beautiful package in no time. All right, next we're going to start. Let's see, Sandy, what should I do? Should I start with the big one or
I would do that
the semi-big one?
huge one. That is such a cool one.
You want to see that one? Okay, I
Yeah.
jumped in the fan gallery and gave them a preview. And I didn't get a chance to see what the responses were, but I hope they liked it. All right, so this one, I'm going to go ahead and load my Bowdabra bow wire in my large Bowdabra, set it aside, but that's not what we're going to be using. Now, I'm not using the colors in the wreath. I'm showing you what I did because I don't have a big enough space to make that on camera. So I want to show you how to get to the point where I'm going to pick up. So you're going to take one of these Dollar Tree, Dollar Store loofah shower scrubbers, and you're going to cut, there's string in there, not the hole, not the rope. I'm not sure what that is, Sandy. I think your computer's doing that thing.
What's it doing?
Oh, when you hear your computer, it's done now. Okay, I've got this rope off, and look at all this beautiful, like, it's like a ocean style of shore beach type ribbon is what I like to use it for. But we have last week on how to do a cool noodle wreath that Sandy did, and it reminded me, oh, I could make this giant wreath in no time. So what you
Oh
do
my
is like
gosh,
putting,
that is so creative.
yeah, it's just like putting your stockings on, and you just thread it over because it's hollow. Most of them are. Thread it over your pool noodle like so, and you get the color you want. So, and if you're worried about the color showing, which it's not going to on what I did, you can wrap it in ribbon or something, but then you're just doing your work twice because it's really not going to show, but what will show, it'll be from behind. It'll just give it some kind of like interesting texture. So take your duct tape and I don't think that's going to be too big. And put your pool noodle ends together. Lexi, I might need a second person for this. Then you just tape them together. And I'll put more on mine than that, but just to show you. And then you can cover it and you'll have this interesting texture. It's not, I mean, too obvious it's a pool noodle. It's not going to show that much, so it won't matter. But this is a nice sturdy wreath. It holds a lot of weight. The next,
Uh-oh, you froze up, Joette. Okay, we're still here, everybody, so please hang on while we try to get this fixed. Okay, we've got a problem here. Looks like Joette's camera froze up. So we're going to stop and then we're going to come back on. So we're here still. Okay, we're getting set up again here.
hello, we're back. Okay, I was just saying this wreath is going to blow your mind, and I'm not sure if you heard the part about what I'm making the tree topper bow, which is also going to be our wreath bow. I skipped over to that part. So I've loaded my Bowdabra with Bowdabra bow wire. And I'm going to find my goodies. I'm going to make one of those tree toppers that's decorative more than just a bow. I've got these feathers, and if you put those in the top of your tree, I mean, you can even cut them and split them. In fact, let me do that. I'll show you. Cut a piece off, and then you have more than one, and it'll fan out. So I'm going to place that down in my Bowdabra. And if you get these every year like I do, these Dollar Tree Christmas trees, they make good filler. You just cut all the hardware off. I mean, that's good Christmas green filler. I'm going to place that down in here. And I've got a poinsettia, a blue one. I'm going to place that right here. So this is what I have so far. I've kind of got a tall and a short. And you can bring that down into the bow and do it last, but I'm going to save it for a little bit higher placement. All right, so next we're going to build our bow. I'm using this 4-inch wide burlap ribbon. So who doesn't like red, white, blue, and burlap? I know I do. So I'm doing the funky bow and I've got longer tails this time, and I'm using larger loops. So what you do is, see what tail I want. I'm going to put the longer ones towards the bottom, scrunch your ribbon, And the tails don't have to be the same, which I am making some shorter and some longer. Get your loop in. I'm going to go this side, this side, this side, this side. I think I have 3 and then I'm changing colors. This is one of the shorter ones. I want the tails to go upward because they need to hang down if they're longer. So let's separate them. And I've got one more. I'm just placing it in where I want the tail to fall, and then I'm finding another area to give me the same size of loop that I've already added in. And you just, I like to build mine as I go because I'm an actual florist, and I kind of do that when I make them myself. This is what I have so far when I hand tie them, but I don't do that anymore because they never turn out as pretty when you hand tie them as they do with Bowdabras. So this is a 2.5-inch wide sheer blue ribbon, and I'm doing the same thing. I left off at the top, so I'm going to do a lower bow. Separate those tails, and the same thing. You know what? That was my tails. Let's take that out. This is my tails. I wanted some long ones of this, so I'm going to place those in as a tail. Now I'm going to put my loop and shorter tails in. Now this will end up down here, but I'm going to throw it there for now. Get it out of my way. And I have one more. And I'm going to put it the opposite direction. This, doing that little scrunchy center again. So I've got the ends folded. This is a 2.5-inch wide red burlap. I'm just going to scrunch it down, right down the center with the ends folded. Flip it sideways. Now I'm going to pull my Bowdabra bow wire out, take the loose ends and pull them to the looped end. It's secure enough to pull it out, so that's actually going down. Pull it nice and tight. Got to get it real tight. That's the key. You can't really, it's hard to do with real wire, but Bowdabra bow wire is amazing. Okay, tie it in a knot on the back, and you want to leave the excess wires in case you want to tie it to a tree to keep it more sturdy, but you also have some picks or some stems left, so you can place them down in there too with the picks if you wanted to. So I'm just going to fluff a little bit. Doesn't take much. And you'll bend your poinsettia or flower, if you use one, to the direction you want it. And then you can place this down in the top of your tree to fill in some space and make it look fancier. Can you see, Sandy?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
That makes
Well,
that would
we're
make an
saved.
amazing tree topper.
It would, and it's there's not much to it. Those can get really expensive, and this looks like there's a lot more to it. And so now we're going to finish what we were doing. I could have made this in there with it and made it even bigger,
Wow.
but I'm going to use that to show you how to put it on the wreath. Also, I'm not. Wait, there's more. I've got this big old
I
giant
think that's the
pinwheel.
biggest pinwheel I've ever seen.
If you see the pinwheels this big and the bows this big, wait till you see the wreath. Okay, I need some room, so I'm going to take a second and move some stuff out of my way so we don't hear a bunch of stuff falling, because we will. All right, so this is, let me ask you, what would you do if your neighbor showed up at your house and said, here, can you use this? An Uncle Sam / Santa Sam, or whatever he is. I'm like, what in the world? And he keeps going and going. I think he's as tall as I am. So I was like, Lexi, I told her I was going to use this dude, so he's going in a wreath. And she kind of looked at me like I was crazy. I said, well, it's happening. And I said, Sandy's going to freak out when she sees this going on the live because she's going to wonder how in the world do you plan on doing that? So I've got you this far with the pool noodle. So this is a stuffed there's not enough room to turn around. I used this red, white, and blue loofah, And I've stuffed his backside where he's sitting on the wreath like a swing. And then I've zip tied one arm on the other side, and I'll end up zip tying this one to the other side. I've zip tied his head in place where he's not moving, and his legs are all zip tied. And then I have one more thing when I flip it around to show you. I have one of these Dollar Tree glittery things, but you could add more. I had one to show you. That must be what I heard fall. But you could add more around in here, more bows, whatever. But for time's sake, we're going to go ahead and finish adding this bow to him. So let me, yep, that's what fell. I had a star laying there to show you, but you get the idea. So once you get your zip tie or your pool noodle wreath made, you're going to take a bunch of these, just scrunch that. It's a yard maybe of
You want to show how you make
20.
the scrunchie?
Yeah, we did it before we did the bow.
Okay.
We made this and then I set it aside. So we're gonna, this guy's huge. I'm gonna pull this off though, y'all. It's gonna happen. Okay, so you could have put it in the back of the bow, but we were making that for a tree topper, and I also wanted to show you separately how to do it. So you go around the wreath and you tie these around the pool noodle. And I had kind of had a pattern. Okay, I had them laying. I put the first one down, and then I had the top laying over the one in front of it. So we're going to tie this one nice and tight because you don't want it slipping around. You can cut those excess ends off if you want, but it doesn't show, and I guess I'm getting caught in the mesh. So I'm going to leave it on there. And then you'll take, this is the part where I might grab a zip tie because I need to tack his hand down on something. I'm going to take this, we're going to lay it across where he's holding it. Actually, let's put this in and we'll work that in behind. We can cut the stick off or hide it when we're done. And we probably needed a longer piece of Bowdabra bow wire, so I'm going to go ahead and just make one. It's in there, but I need it a little bit longer. I'll reach around this guy. And I'm going to go underneath the piece I just placed on there, the deco mesh. Pull it through. I'm going to find the center where I threaded all this before when I made the bow. And now, once you get to that, get past all the mesh, you go ahead and tie it up real tight through the center. And you can twist it a little bit to keep it from slipping. Hold it in place. Now tie it. Then you'll want to return it to the back and tie it off. But I'm going to do that later when I take pictures. Okay. And again, I can cut those off. I can pull them up higher, whatever needs to be done. And last but not least, Sandy said, "What are you doing with those zip ties?" I said, "I got to tie his hand down somehow." So I'm going to take his hand, you can see it, and I'm going to take a zip tie and I'm wrapping it around the stick of the pinwheel. And I can still slide the pinwheel up and down to get it in position where it looks good, but it's stable. Get that real tight. You do want to cut these excess pieces off and get it turned around. And you have this ginormous Santa Sam, but well, I did that, put a coat hanger around him to hold his head up straight. Just hide that. Got this big old giant wreath. Can you see it, Sandy?
Yeah, that's amazing. That is so big.
what happened? You got quiet. That that's unusual. But this is what we got out of a pool noodle in the Bowdabra. It's huge. And these things sell for a lot of money if you shop around on Etsy, and that's kind of a shortcut to make one. All right, last we're going to be making a wreath. And it's not the traditional Christmas colors, but I use this a lot at my mom's house every year for Christmas. I'm going to be making this peacock ribbon that Bowdabra sells. I'm going to put gold on. Use some gold Bowdabra bow wire. I'm going to cut a length, and it's going on the wreath, but it also could be a door swag or even a lantern swag if you wanted to do that. Alright, so placing a length of Bowdabra bow wire in the large Bowdabra. Fold the ends underneath, and last year Dollar General had a whole bunch of stuff marked down after Christmas, so of course I ran in there and grabbed up every bit of it because I need it for Bowdabra. I'm taking some Dollar Tree bushes and I'm folding them in half, and whichever's the short
Joanne,
end,
Joette, Nancy asked where you got the turntable. It's just a Lazy
it's
Susan, right?
a Rubbermaid Lazy Susan, and I actually got it at a yard sale, but I think you can get them online. It's Rubbermaid though, that's the brand, and I absolutely love it. I've got a few of them. In fact, I'm taking a Dollar Tree bush, I'm gonna fold it in half, and I do want all my shorter pieces to go to the top side. So when I fold it, it'll make some longer than the other. I've got these denim frosted poinsettias. I've got two of these, and I think I'm going to place them both in the top, because I can adjust them. No, I'm not. I'm going to put one on the bottom, one on. Okay, I was going to do something different, but I'm not going to change tonight on a live, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. Okay, I've got a little Dollar Tree filler bush. It's called Status, White Status, and I'm going to place that in right here on top of those poinsettias. And then I have this piece of deco mesh, and I'm just going to roll the ends and scrunch it down, roll the other end and scrunch it, and then turn it sideways so it fans out. It's just a cheap filler, and you hide it just right, you don't have any fraying. Okay, here's my favorite part. I love this peacock ribbon from Bowdabra. It's on Bowdabra.com, and I'm going to use it. I want one end longer than the other. All right, I'm going to put the short end on the top, long end towards the bottom. Now, don't forget to be writing in the comments where you're watching from for a chance to win a roll of Bowdabra
We picked the winner.
scrunchie ribbon.
The winner
You did?
is Diana Stevens.
Congratulations, Diana. Where was she watching from, did it say? Or is it
Diana
already
is
gone?
watching from Macomb, Mississippi.
Oh, I'm close to you. I'm in Arkansas. All right, so now we've got about 3 yards of this beautiful ribbon, and I'm going to make a loopy bow. So I'm going to start out with a small tail, and I'm going to twist and fold. And I'm just going to go back and forth on each side. Get the loops close to the same. Twist, fold. If she's already picked the winner, my 30 minutes is almost up. My timekeeper didn't notify me over there. I'm going to twist, fold, twist, fold. You're going to keep the shiny side up. Well, actually down and then up. When you flip it over, the shiny side should be up. Anyway, we're going to do this a few more times till we end up with the tail. Not a long tail this time, a shorter one. And twist,
And
fold.
Diana, just PM Bowdabra with your mailing address and what color, whether you want the gold, the silver, or the red Bowdabra scrunchie ribbon.
Last loop, and we'll have just a small tail. And I always, because I love this ribbon too, the Bowdabra Twinkle ribbon, I've got like a
You like all the
little piece.
glittery ribbon.
I do, and you know I'm a mess when I come out there and work. I vacuum for hours before I leave. Okay, I'm folding in the ends again, and I'm just going to scrunch it in. Fold the other end over, turn it sideways, And I'm going to use my wand just to smash everything down. Y'all, this is the fastest way to make a wreath. No hot glue, no, just, it's made, and you can reuse it, take it apart, and use your wreath for other things and save this piece for the next season. Pull that nice and tight with the Bowdabra slip knot, bow wire slip knot. Separate those ends, pull it to the back, tie it in a knot, and then save those ends because we're going to tie them around the wreath. But we're going to pull these loops, separate them a little bit, and it's almost done. And if you mash your flowers up or anything, you'll have a chance to fix them in a moment. But I just want to get everything in order. All right, so now we take any kind of wreath. On the ugly side, I think that might be my ugly side. And you're just going to tie your little swag that you made around. I usually like to tie it around to the front. I did not cut my wire long enough. And you're going to, if you need extra security, you can go back and add some more pieces, wire, or something to secure it. You do not need hot glue. And then you just kind of fluff everything, separate your fillers so that everything goes into its own place. I like my shorter pieces to come up front, longer pieces around the back. I'm going to weave that tail in there. And I didn't cut dovetails in this one. I folded the ends up. Fluff and shape. And about to show you, I just want to get it fluffed enough that it looks decent when I pick it up and doesn't look smashed. Straighten everything up and pull that over. And this is it. I don't know how fast that was, but I got a wreath that I could go put on my door right now. Just,
It's gorgeous.
it's not perfectly straight, but y'all will see pictures later. But this is it, and this is one of my favorite ribbons. And it's not that messy, but anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to follow us in the Bowdabra fan gallery or join the Bowdabra fan gallery. Follow us on our other social medias, YouTube and the blog. We have tons of free tutorials waiting for you. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.